I think the best thing about a Black Lady sketch show and what makes it so different from other sketch shows out there is not only that it's Black ladies, right? But we get to create this universe that's specifically cast, but universally funny.
I put that 1501 chain around my neck and that's lit. Ay, all the hot girls make it pop, pop, pop. Bad bitches with the bag say, ay, ay, ay. If he ain't talking about no money, tell him bye, bye, bye. And if you see a mad hoe, tell her ha, ha, ha. Hey, don't get mad, hoe. Get a bag, hoe. Don't get mad, hoe. Get a bag, hoe. Don't get mad, hoe. Fuck a broke hoe. Don't get mad, hoe. Get a bag, hoe. Spicy, pricey.
Welcome. This is the Simply King podcast, and this is your boy Rodney Perry, King himself, and you just tuned into the Soulfully Conscious podcast for humans, simply being humans. And today is a special one. I have a very long time friend who's giving me a little bit of her time, you know what I'm saying? And she all the way on I feel like she on the whole other side of the world, you know? Which is that's how we go. You know what I'm saying? Squads reach out. We all have moved away from our homeland, from our second homes, all those different things. But the person that I'm bringing up to y'all is someone that, especially me, for several reasons. Not only is she an artist in every single respective right, because she's multi-talented, being able to become someone else, being able to act as a whole new being, not just simply being, but complexly being another individual, but also being able to capture a note and give you some vocal every now and again, you know what I'm saying, when you need it, when it's necessary.
When it's necessary.
But also have this beautiful grasp of the modern English language, and possibly maybe even give you a little bit of something else when necessary, you know? And being able to put those words together in such eloquence that it just makes you just be like, what'd she just say? And so I have to bring it all down and make it all fantastical in this introduction when I introduce my sis, Bria Henderson. How you doing, girl?
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
that was a great introduction.
Look,
I'm doing good.
I've been working on my intros. You know what I'm saying? And I've been telling people I gotta make sure they understand and make them comfortable right in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you to understand
you did
at home and you good. It. This is the friend. People are just listening in on me and you. You know?
Right. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too.
Thank you.
I'm excited too. And I do want to know. I definitely want to know first. Like, yeah, because it's been a long time since me and you have talked and caught up.
Right.
Me and Bria literally used to fucking play improv games together at Juwan's house.
Facts.
It was a good time. And I think about those moments anytime I'm in Chicago.
Right.
And I meet either other improvisationists or go to see a show and stuff like that. And I'll be like, damn, man, this reminds me of, I wonder what Bria and Maya doing right now. I wonder what Juwan's doing right now. And it's just a vibe. It's great energy. And I've always just been impressed by and I think, Bria, you and Maya were honestly one of the two, best examples of what a Spelman night was for me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it was like this sense of okay, y'all look, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm in school for. And I think y'all were one of the two who were just head on living in what y'all wanted to be. Because I feel like every other Spelman night was, okay, so I'm a political science major with a minor in dance. Or I'm a, economics major with a minor in acting. You know, it was always this kind of what pays the bills and why my parents are paying for. And this is what I really want to do. But y'all always seem to give me this we come in here to do our shit. We studying our shit. We going to handle business, but we going to do what we want to do to be where we want to be.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
And it's a beautiful
I'm going to
thing.
Take that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take it.
I'm
Please.
Take that.
Take all of it. Take all of it. But no, tell me what you've been doing and what you're doing now.
Oh, Lord.
It's been a while, I know.
It has been a while. So after Spelman, I graduated. I 3 months later, I went right into grad school at the University of Washington in Seattle. And that was a 3-year program. So I worked to get my master's in fine arts and acting, which is a terminal degree with a lot of hard work. I think that's when I learned who I truly was in those 3 years. I thought I knew who I was at Spelman, but grad school truly showed me who Bria was. I think I needed the isolation from the culture of Spelman and the culture of what that also comes with, that you're not prepared for, and that also can kind of block and stunt growth in many different ways. So grad school definitely just prepared me to become a better person, which then prepared me to become a better performer and a better artist, and to explore the kind of artistry that I really want to put out in the world. And I graduated from that program last year in April, and then I was invited to come and do a showcase with NBC's network. Last year. They have like this diversity showcase program where they bring in different actors from different backgrounds, and they bring us together. We do scenes and we showcase in front of the industry in LA. And then from there, I decided that LA needed to be my home. I really wanted to move back East Coast and move to New York, but God had different plans. So I officially moved to LA in January, and I've just been back and forth between LA, New York, and home, which is Richmond, Virginia, on and off for about 9 months now. And now I'm currently in the thick of working on a new show that's coming out next year.
New show?
Yeah, new show. It's called Mrs. America. It's going to be on FX with Kate Blanchett as the leading force and the captain of the ship. She'll be playing Phyllis Schlafly, who was a political, you could say like a political activist in the 1970s. She did not believe that the Equal Rights Amendment should be passed because she believed that women should stay in the homes and women should continue to be inferior to men. And she was afraid that if women became equal to men, then women who were wives and had children would not get the support if there was a divorce, or women could get drafted into the war. And those were fears that she had, and other fears that she had around the bill being passed. And so a lot of people forget, I think, that time in history where during that time she was anti-ERA, and there was another force being created and a movement being built, and that was the pro-ERA. And that was all the women of second wave feminists who led that movement. Your Gloria Steinem, your Flo Kennedys, and who else? And Shirley Chisholm. Those women who were the head of that. And that was around the time Shirley Chisholm was trying to run for president. A lot of history that we don't spend time in history class learning, and how like it was this huge women's movement that happened. It was like women versus women. And it was cool. And like now they are doing a limited series. FX is producing a limited series on that movement and showcasing all of these women. And I am enjoying it. I play Margaret Sloan, who was a real life activist in the 70s, who also founded the National Black Feminist Organization in 1973. And I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun learning who she is.
Look at you playing a moving shaker of the past, girl.
It's crazy because she was a poet. She has this book out, so I got to read some of her poetry, and a speaker, and just all about women's rights, all about feminism, all about Black feminism specifically. And she stood for a lot of different movements, and she was a force, and we don't know about her. And so I am honored and humbled that I get to, kind of bring her to some screens.
Yes.
So that's what I've been working on. And other than that, auditioning, I also teach improv as well. I coach as well. Yeah, I just have my hands in different things, just trying to make it work.
I love this, Bria.
Thank you.
I cannot wait.
I'm so excited and nervous. There's so many different feelings I have.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet because it's a lot of weight on. It's a weight on the characters. Weight on the period, especially being a period that's not covered as often, or kind of jumped over a lot in history.
And this is my first TV show, so it's a lot. It's a lot of different feels.
Exactly, and I'm here
grateful.
for it. I'm here for it, and I know you're gonna do great.
Thank you.
This is only the start to many more things. IMDb is gonna be heavy in a minute, girl. I can see it.
Oh, come on, claim it. Come on, IMDb, claim it. Heavy.
Heavy. No.
Heavy.
But let's jump right into
Yes.
the first segment being the Twitter check-in. All right.
Twitter check-in, yes.
So the Twitter check-in is essentially me and my guest talking about something that occurred on Twitter in some way, shape, or form. Today was bland to me. I feel like it was just a lot of okay news. So I'll have to expand my mind into the week. And the thing that happened that made my week, because it just made me feel good, and that was seeing the beautiful Issa Rae post that they finally started on the first day of shooting for season 4
They did.
of HBO's Insecure.
They sure did. Yes.
And so I really just want to talk about really quickly my love for the show. Ask you if you have any love for the show and anything you would want to say or are expecting to see or any feels about it, because I feel really good about this upcoming season is what I'm saying. But I'll start with you. How did you feel when you seen this, and how do you feel about the show entirely?
Oh, wow. Okay. One, I love Insecure. I have been an Issa Rae fan for a long time.
Man.
I was back when she was doing the Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl on YouTube, and I think she was giving us a video maybe every Thursday. And I remember just waiting till Thursday to watch the next episode. And even recently, I went back to look at her formula of how she did that and how I don't think people noticed, but I think as she saw the interest grow for Awkward Black Girl, she made the episodes longer every time she posted a new episode, which was so smart because that's just more, that's developing more content, giving us more things that we want. And then to see her career just take off. I mean, from just working with her friends to film Awkward Black Girl with not the best quality at all. And then now getting a whole slot with HBO. I think it's amazing. And now she's producing left and right. And she's also, branched off into the acting world even more, getting other gigs as well. So she is someone that I definitely keep my eye on when it comes to something of when it comes to the trajectory of my career as well. But I love Insecure. I think it's smart. I do think it is our modern day. It's our millennial living single. In a way, in many ways. And so I cannot wait to see what they're going to do for season 4. I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I thought I was going to have to holler and scream because I was literally thinking, because I said it before to Juwanza and all of my other friends about this. To me, feels like if Martin was intentional about kind of constructive screenwriting within the relationship side of the show. So it's millennial. It's still very millennial, still within the times, but I still think it's going to weigh the test of times because there's so much very human things and very just
they cover
basic
things.
relationship things that are occurring on the show. I think so vividly when it comes to the conversation that Lawrence had with his father, and you seeing that contrast of how he handled this whole situation with Issa and how his father's advising him. Me and your mama brought baggage in, and we had to figure out how the hell we was gonna carry all of this. We had to work it out. We had to do whatever we had to do. And I think the crazy thing about it is I think this is the first time in a long time that this is a show that people didn't try to otherize and see as, oh, okay, that's a show for chicks. Oh, okay, that's a show for dudes. That's a show for woke black women. That's a show for so on and so forth. It was such a great writing and so much realness that everybody started to see themselves in it. And I remember seeing so many men who watched it, who corralled around it, promoting Team Lawrence and all these different things, and got so insulted by certain things that would occur because they seen themselves. They might have been a dude who was a bum on the couch.
Facts.
They might have been a dude who let themselves go, was laying on their laurels and sit there and not doing anything with themselves as someone has expectations for you. Someone's looking at you like, I'm here for you. I want to support you, but what do I have to support? What do I have to do with you? What do I have to do for you? And then on top of that, there's this narcissism at play that I think he showed that I think a lot of men possess. And I think that was why it was this connection. And that's why I was like, yeah, I tune in. I like it or whatever, but I like it for this and that. And it's like, okay, you can say that, but I'm going to keep it real. I seen myself a lot in a lot of those episodes. So it's like, I love this. I can't wait for it to come
I can't
back.
wait to what she gonna do. Yeah.
I don't
just
know what
can't
the
wait.
hell she's going to do. It's
I
going to
have
be.
no idea.
She set herself up to really do whatever.
Anything. Yeah.
And I think that's the dope part about
Yeah.
it. And I think she's really showing us right now how to be not only a boss, not to only be a star, but just to play so many roles, so many hats, and to just really actualize a dream. And I think that's just something, because there's no other, like, she is an innovator in a sense of, like, there was no in between step. She went from awkward black girl writing a book to having a show.
Yeah.
And like that usually don't happen in that order. It usually don't happen in that way. There's usually another step. She should have been on somebody else's sitcom. She should have been on a few movies and a few different supporting roles for her to get the possible chance to be able to, because everyone pitches. Everyone gives out, sells pilots that never get picked up, all different types of things. But for some reason, she was always seen, she made it, and she got there, and its quality is undeniable. And we here in the 4th season, and we cannot wait. And next year can't come fast enough.
I know it can't. I just can't wait. I just love the friendship, the sisterhood that is shown, and just being someone who is young and still trying to figure themselves out. Like, like Molly is definitely established. Kelly is established, and what is Amanda Seales' character name? Tiffany. I can't think of it. Tiffany. They're established, and I feel like Issa is the one that's playing the one that's still trying to figure it out. But even though you can be around women who are like, hey, I have this and I have that, like, I just love it. I love it how they're all on their different paths. And when it comes to their love lives, it's all like no one has gotten it right. And so it's great to just see.
Yes, just see.
Just seeing and these different women who are completely different, who look different, and then the comedy of it, and then when it gets real, it's like, ooh, this is taking me on a roller coaster. Because sometimes you come for the laugh, and then some real stuff happen. You be like, wow, that hurt, that hits home. Like, ooh, that is true. Like, Issa, do better. like
ooh,
stuff
girl.
like that.
Ooh.
Girl, what you doing?
Yeah, you need to clean it up. But that's why we love it. That's why we love it.
Right.
But
yeah, so I can't wait.
Let's move on to a great segue into a segue, being the Praise 'em shout out, who is also the topic of discussion, a part of the topic of discussion of this specific podcast. And that being the Praise 'em shout out goes to Robin Thede.
Yes,
for obvious reasons. So when it came to producing this show called A Black Lady Sketch Show, great title, great name. They're leaning into all of it, I want to shout out because I watched the rundown. I watched, the nightly show with Larry Wilmore. So I definitely was familiar to her on-screen work, and certainly thought that she was extremely smart, and thought that she was definitely had a great presence, had a very distinctive voice, literally and from a writing perspective. So it's like, okay, this is refreshing. I love to continuously see diversity within Black women being shown on screen, because I think that's the only way you can truly destroy the myth of the monolith. And I think for her, I love that this was something that got picked up, and finding out and doing my little bit of research, listening to these interviews, it happened fairly fast. It happened fairly fast from her pitching the show to getting the show done and it becoming a thing, almost being approved for the show, and literally a year after the fact, the show then came out, which doesn't usually happen in that way. But the people over there at HBO are trying to get a lot of things happen, and I think it had a lot to do with the connection to Issa Rae being a part of that show. I think that all of that being said, I think it's interesting, how those connections and how all it takes is that one person getting in to allow another thing to get in, and for that to then become a chain reaction. And I think she deserves so much praise for creating this beautiful, beautiful show. And I want to know
Yes.
what did you think, and what do you would you praise Robin Thede for?
Well, I would just say shout out to her for like being revolutionary. Like
Yes.
one, a black lady sketch show like that alone, the title alone is something that we've never seen,
Never.
never heard. I don't even think people could ever imagine us seeing something so simple for black women to do, because black women are funny, and we play many characters and we are complex and we can do all these things and we've been doing it for years. And now to have a show on a network like HBO dedicated to us every Friday night, I think is revolutionary. I think it's huge. I think it's groundbreaking. And I'm really excited to see where this is going to take us. I can go all the way back to Mad TV was my favorite sketch show.
Yeah.
And the black woman, her name is Deborah. I cannot think of her last name.
Deborah Wilson.
Yes, maybe Deborah Wilson. Let me fact check that real quick.
Let me make sure.
And she was, yes, it is Deborah Wilson.
Yeah.
Deborah Renee Wilson. Get the full name, y'all.
Yeah.
She just insanely talented. Her comedic timing was incredible. She had some of the best, most iconic parodies and impersonations, hands down, as a black woman. Like, hands down.
Yes.
You got Maya Rudolph.
Yes.
You got now Leslie. You got I can't think of these other people's names, but you have these black women who were, who was doing the sketch, who in Living Color, that went on to do great things. But I do think that pioneered the seed of a black lady sketch show. So I cannot wait to see where it goes from here, because it really can go anywhere, and I'm really excited.
Me too.
Very excited.
Me too. And I think the fact that that people are finding themselves being able to create in places where there are no bounds is like the most perfect combination of things, because then like going to a place like HBO is great because the things you can tap into. That you can get as real and as raw as you want to be, and to express certain things that to a very commercial, very prime time network that's like we may need to tone this down, or this may be misunderstood, and all those different things. And I do think we're at a point now where blackness shouldn't continuously be filtered. It's like we need to start giving ourselves, because people need to start, because people don't even know, they give up. Like I see it so often where there's this, people push things as this black show and so on and so forth, and then the content comes out and it feels slightly watered down, and people give up on it. People may not like, and something you find so many people who like, I like the show, I can't believe it went away. But it's kind of like it didn't grasp everyone. It didn't see everyone. They felt like they were missing the mark in certain ways. But I think the things that have been extremely authentic have given us, those really truly just black ass things in it, and they're not these characters. They're just realness. I think those are the things that always have seen to hold the test of time. But
Facts.
Let's get into it. A black lady sketch show, and the facts are just facts. The fact that they are the first show to have a all-black female cast, the first show to have an all-black writer's room, a black director, a black executive producer, a black female executive producer, to have diversity within that writer's room as well, being people from the diaspora, people of different sexualities. I think it's extremely impressive, but also alarming as hell to see exactly how slow moving progress and change is, even in the very thing that positions itself to be the most progressive thing. I think the arts have always seemed to be this thing of we have to, we have people working who are all different and things like this. We're for diversity, right? Genuinely for diversity. And I think I would love to know what you have seen in your time within the industry of how diversity really is seen in this I do think it's this very interesting and weird relationship that I think, even when you just think about the term and how it's being utilized, and how you have to be able to see, like, when it's authentic diversity being, being attempted, and also when there's like this forced diversity being attempted, because like it's a trend right now. It's selling things. People are making great money off of having black women in things or leading things. I would love to know what your insight is on that.
I just feel like right now, even with a lot of content being made for Black people, for the culture, which is amazing and great, and it's a wave that we have not seen ever, and it's happening now. We're in it now, which is amazing. I just can't wait to see what happens next and what else people are gonna put out there and get to put out there. I also feel that diversity only gets implemented and really acted upon when it's convenient. And so when you see a Black lady sketch show and the things that they're covering, it's like, whoa, they saying things I didn't think. But like HBO is a great network, so HBO usually allows it all to be shown, which is great. But it's great to see shows like a Black lady sketch show and Insecure that they don't have a filter. They show us in our fullness, in our complexities. We don't have to present ourselves in a way that white people can eat and enjoy and feel comfortable eating and chewing on. But I do still feel like diversity is only being acted upon and implemented when it is comfortable and convenient. Like when it's being like protest, like we need to see more people of color. We need to see this. We need to see these stories. And it's like, okay, let's find that one person. Let's find that one thing that we can put out there to shut them up for a little bit. And then let's keep going with our thing. So we are on a rise with the content that we see. We're on a rise with more people of color taking positions of producers, of executive producers, of showrunners, of writers, of head writers, of the actors and actresses that get to be put on the screen, but also the people that are behind the screen that actually run the circus. I think a lot of consumers don't understand that these TV shows that you're watching, there are about 1,000 people that have to greenlight it, have to run it, that have some hand in having that show right in front of, like right on your screen. Yeah. There's like a whole machine that happens,
Exactly.
And a lot of no's that happen. A lot of no's, but there's a lot of no's before you get that one yes to make such a revolutionary thing, like a Black lady sketch show, like Insecure, like these other amazing shows that are happening. And so I have a huge respect to Oprah, who has created a platform where she can decide what she wants to put on her network. And she's giving power to Ava DuVernay, who started who didn't get her real start until the age of 32, with no background, just being a part of the industry, being in, I think, PR.
Yeah, she was a publicist,
Yeah, a publicist. And she had a story to tell, and Oprah gave her that shot, which is, I think, amazing because Ava DuVernay is a gatekeeper, one of our gatekeepers. Honestly,
incredible too.
Tells our stories very well, and she is she's our political gatekeeper. Like she does the hard thing. She's one of the ones who does the hard thing by putting truth out there that is not easy to digest, that can be hated on, that can get a lot of backlash from, because it's just, When They See Us has truly blew me away in many ways. And I had to watch it as just a Black woman. I also had to watch it as a Black woman with a Black brother. I had to watch it I had to watch it knowing that I was a Black child. I also had to watch it as just an actor and an artist.
Yeah.
And I just grew an even bigger respect for her. So I do believe that we have our gatekeepers. We have the people who are pioneering for us and who are pushing our stories. You have the Issa Raes, the Ava DuVernays, the Oprahs, the Tyler Perrys, you can name them, the Spike Lees. You have them, and there's so many more too. And I can't wait till others get a chance to push the content that we so want and we so deserve and we so desire. I think everyone needs to be seen in every show. And there is more, and there are more people, there are more filmmakers, there are more storytellers that are coming through, and they just have to get that one shot and that one chance. And sometimes it's not because of a diversity pool. Sometimes it's just by someone tapping them, Yeah,
you said so much. And I think only thing I can genuinely add from being a person who creates and consumes heavily, I think I've always been the person who just believes that there's so much still not done yet. Like it's so much still
Yeah.
left to do, and it baffles me that we're in a place now that we're still just fighting to get into some of these rooms, and people are still trying to figure out, well, we don't know what to put out, or we're trying to find great ideas and great stories. And I just think about, like, where do you want to start? Like there haven't been people in these rooms for so long. Imagine the stories, the
Yeah.
the narratives that have yet to be told, fictional and non-fictional. You haven't even
Yeah.
been inside the brains of the right people to get that type of creativity, to
Right.
get that
And
originality.
and those people, just like seeing Issa Rae work only ignites me more to say, Bria, write your stories. You have stories,
Yeah.
write them.
Yeah.
And not to judge my stories as if like, well, no one's going to care about that. But it's
Yep.
like, how do you know until you do it? There are so many stories out here that I don't watch, but someone else is consuming it and it's successful. Like
Yep.
everyone's story needs to be told. And yeah, it ignites me because it's like, yo, I want to be seen, and I want someone who has lived a life that's similar to mine, who can connect with me, be seen as well. And as artists and as activists, that is our duty and our right. And so it's good that we have people to look up to that are close in age to us, that we can say, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
Back then we didn't have that. At Spelman, I didn't have that many Black women that I could say I saw myself in them in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
There were some ways, but not in many ways, where it's like, whoa, you're actually doing the thing and you low-key kind of look like me. Wow. That's groundbreaking. A Black lady schedule, like, just imagine the young Black girls who are the clowns of their classroom. They will see themselves. Like, they can tune in and watch a skit on Instagram or Twitter and be like, oh my gosh, look at all these Black women being funny and goofy. That's me.
Yes.
And
That's
so, yeah, I think it's amazing.
I think it's exactly what is needed. It's if life and what's missing in the industry is a CVS receipt that's just long for no damn reason, because we only got a few things on there. There's still so much left to go. There's still so much to check off.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? What is this? We haven't gotten to this yet. We still have done nothing close to this yet. When it's just there, it's simple, and people are trying to figure out how did you capture this brilliance? And it's like we're literally just talking about life. We're literally not like,
we're being ourselves. We're just talking about what we talk about with our friends.
Yes. I think that just to jump back to Insecure really quick, that's what made the show brilliant and so impactful. It's because it stopped pushing yes, people are magic. Yes, Black women are magical. Yes, Black girls are magical. But damn it, can a motherfucker be regular sometimes? I got just regular ass shit happening that I never know and never see. And I talk to, my best friend Juwanza all the time about the stage in life where we're at, where, we are in this very transitional stage of, kind of understanding and finding that purpose, but still being in the in-betweens of like post-grad blues, but also this drive and this hunger. But then you're now dealing with all these adult things that you're experiencing for the first time on your own. And I think it's just like,
Right.
To capture that, to show that, so many people relate to that, so many people can speak to that, so many people would see themselves in that. And I think just putting that out, showing that, is all you really can do. But let's get into the show, and let's talk about a few things about the show. And so, for me, I think we already at because I think the season finale was this past week. 6 episodes, which I think is, it could have definitely in my mind been more, but I understand, this is how pilots are,
Yeah.
They give you your limits. But each and every show had this through line. And no, for everyone who's not familiar with the show, you should be. If not, I will put you up on game. The main cast being Robin Thede herself, Ashley Nicole Black, Quinta Brunson, and Gabrielle Dennis. And I was surprised by Gabrielle Dennis. Everybody knows Gabrielle Dennis for playing Nippy. Everybody knows Gabrielle Dennis for getting knocked up by Derwin. everyone knows her for so many other types of roles. And she
Mm-hmm.
came in here just giving you the funny. You know what I'm saying? Giving
Yeah, yeah.
you a character. I loved how she was so into it that she almost gave you a different voice almost in everything that she played, which I think is taking an extra
I think
step.
she has some of the best character work, in my
Yes.
opinion. And I know a lot of people were probably shocked, like, wow, she's usually doing a dramatic show, and
Yes.
how can she be funny? But then that just shows you that there's not much of a difference between the comedic world and the dramatic world. It's just that people put a label on you and just think that you're one thing.
Yeah.
When actually truth in anything you're enacting, truth is what makes it successful. Truth is what shows up. And I think she just takes her time in all of her characters and she just grounds them all. And it actually results in great, funny, comedic work.
Period. It's just solid. And so those are the main characters. And I love Quinta. Been loving her since he got money. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like she was an instant sensation. She was meant to be doing what she's doing, and she always gave off that energy of like you're supposed to be, entertaining.
Yeah, I'm
like,
very happy for her and her whole the whole route and how it worked out for her. And I do think she's hilarious. Like, she has some great moments on the show, and it takes me out because I'm like, I don't even think half the time she's really trying. I think she's just a funny person to me.
Yes.
She's great at being so matter of fact about things, which I love.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the characters that they've given her.
Yes.
Yeah, which is fun to see.
I love it. And then you have Ashley Nicole Black, who is probably one of the most, I guess, accomplished or awarded of the cast members,
right? And so probably unknown,
and that's
at
what
the same time.
And that's what trips me out. Robin Thede spoke to this about just not only her but the whole staff being. She literally just said, she was like, it's not like we had to go far to find these people. These people have been working for a long time. Have Emmys, have Emmy nominations, have Golden Globe nominations and Golden Globe winners. These are people who have been a part of the industry and who have been doing the damn thing for very long. They have the top of the top working within this show. So it's like that's why people always push back when we get this news from whatever publication, newly casted show for this, that, and the third, and it's like, damn, y'all had to get her. Like, that's what it was. That's like, y'all really couldn't find nobody else for this specific type of story. Like, y'all really seen this person there. You know what I'm saying? Because it's either Scarlett Johansson or somebody else.
Right.
for every role. And it baffles me because it's like, I don't know, y'all really not trying. And it's crazy. I had a conversation with a friend of mine who is an actress. She does a lot of work here in Chicago. And I remember her coming to me because she had this complex feeling. And she's Greek and she obviously looks very white. Mm-hmm. And so she had this very complex feeling that she had to express to me. She didn't know how to take it. And she essentially said she was auditioning for this show. She's been working on it for a long time. And she knew people who were involved in selection process and all these different things. And they kind of pitched to it as like, you did good, you did great, but I think they want to, they want the show to be more diverse. So they may go find someone else, regardless of whatever. And she was like, I just did not understand. Like, she was just saying like, I just didn't understand if they wanted to make it diverse, they didn't have to put out auditions. They could have just found somebody. And I told her, and
but honestly, that is the industry. Like, that's you just don't know. Like, they could want a black woman.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, they're like, actually, we changing the whole thing. Like, that's why I'm like, people don't understand that when you get into this industry, it's not about like, when will you get booked? Like, when will you get a show? And it's like, it's all a toss up because there's so many moving parts that we as actors and the artists and the talent have no control over. They can literally change the entire script. And then you're out without a job. And it has nothing to do with you. It's about the network. It's about what the people who are in power, the people who get to put the money in the project wants and what they think is best.
Yeah. And that's what I assured. I was like, the thing about it is you don't need to feel bad about this at all. because you're not in the way or not, feel like you wasted your time, because it's for them. Did they do their due diligence to make sure these, casting calls were as diverse as they wanted them to be? Because obviously they wanted this to have a large selection of different types of people to come in and show and improve, and they were going to select the best person. But because the people who showed up were a part of the community that you already are part of, they only told the people they know, they only told the organizations that they know. They didn't reach out and try to really get this certain call and this certain audition call to be as diverse as it could be. And so you had to push back at them and push back at your friends or whoever are a part of these things and let them know you're not doing enough. Like, now you have to force diversity. Now you have to find a way to make it happen instead of creating the situation of, because there are people out there. You know plenty of people of color who are trying to get work. And they come from all walks of life, and everybody's trying to get work. Everybody's trying to be placed on somebody's stage, placed in somebody's, show or movie, and whatever. They want to get on. They try to, credits build up. Put me on. Get me paid. Whatever they got to do. And so I think that's the part that she needed to understand. But I digress. I think for me, let's get into some of the themes and some of our favorite moments of the show. And so I would love to know the I guess the ethos around the invisible black woman sketch. Like, I only got a few that I want to run by you, because I think I had a conversation with House of June on this podcast years ago, and we were talking about, I think at that time Lemonade had just came out. And I remember telling them that within some of these visuals, and I was getting their opinion, I just had to say to them, like, I enjoy a lot of it, but I definitely feel like the videographers and the DPs and Beyonce and all these creatives who are a part of this certain thing, I feel like they figured out a way to really take out the male gaze in this work. And I feel like I see that a lot more now being done in the most cleverest of ways, by, really, subtracting men out of the stories or choosing specific types of shots. I feel like this, I truly start to feel like I'm really just viewing things happening. I'm not being serviced in any way with what's being happened.
It's being presented.
Yeah. And so within that specific sketch, it was like this thing that I just really did not fully understand. Because I'm like, damn, is this really a thing? Like, I didn't know this was really. I didn't know this really was.
Some black women do really feel like they're invisible, like no one truly sees them, and I think that sketch speaks to that and just exaggerates it to a point where people can see it. I as a black woman, also as a black woman of size, it also connects in many ways to me, and sometimes how I felt invisible to people, men as well as women, just in general, and you're just like, y'all can't see me, I'm right here, and then what it feels like, to actually be seen. The moments when it feels like you actually are seen it's jarring. You're like, wait, you see me? Huh? I'm used to, I know how to play this game because no one can see me. Mm-hmm. So I think each sketch you can peel back the layers of comedy and actually have a really, really deep conversation of blackness within the world of womanness, and where these ideas came from in the writing room, and what stories are they attached to that actually render traumatic experiences that they just, it's real. Like, comedy comes from truth, comedy comes from pain, comedy comes from trauma. That's about, black people are always known as people who can laugh at their pain and laugh through the joy. That's just something we've had since slavery, to be honest. They were still able to sing and dance while working unreasonable hours in the fields and being whipped and losing loved ones and getting babies ripped from them. And so, Invisible Woman is one of those sketches where it's like, oh, this is too close to home. Like, it's like I can laugh at it, but then I'm also like, this is uncomfortable, So, yeah, it's real when you feel like you're not being seen. I guess like when you feel like you're the common girl, you don't have anything to bring to a room, so people just are used to not seeing you, and they think you're all right. And then all of a sudden you get seen, you like, huh? But I love how they make her into like a detective, like this
Yeah.
fighting woman, and she's like trying to save the world, and it's hilarious. It's actually hilarious, and I think Ashley does a great job playing this very common, just to herself, cool, calm, and collected woman who knows how to play the game because of the cards she was dealt that she probably didn't choose herself.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing because I think the discovery in it for me, from my perspective, I think that's why I appreciated things like this sketch, things like Lemonade, because it makes you have to do the work now, have to like find new understanding of what you know for a fact you don't understand in this first viewing. And I think it's something that I think I talk to, and I always try to say to other men all the time when it comes to them saying out loud, like, yeah, you know, that's dope for women or whatever, or that's good for, you know, this and that. And I'm like, why we always do that? Like, why it can't be good for us too? Because women do not process things in the world that way. All the things that are happening. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like everything, honestly, everything to me, I have this conversation a lot with my sisters, stems back to the system, to the foundation of slavery and white superiority and patriarchy. Because if you think about it, there's a totem pole in my world, in my mind. It's the white man, the white woman, the black man, then the black woman.
Yeah.
And so anybody above you is who your gaze is toward.
Yeah.
Anybody above you is who you have to think about. Anybody below you don't have to think about. The person below you is the person who usually is supporting you because they have to think about you. In their world, in order for them to move, you have to move first. So if black women in this totem pole idea is under the black man, then the black man does not have to think about the black woman. Exactly. The black man can use the black woman. The black man cannot see the black woman because the black woman sees him, and that's enough. And that's the support he needs to climb to the top to get to where he's going, and so on with the white woman and the white man. And so everything stems from that system and that foundation. And a lot of people don't want to talk about how it is slavery was the smartest thing ever invented and created, because 500, 600 years from now, we are still our minds, not even just our bodies, but when you can control someone's mind, that is a powerful thing. The mind is a powerful thing and a tool. And our minds are still programmed in that world and in that fashion. Yes. So yes, black men, I'm not surprised that some black women are saying, oh yeah, that's a black lady sketch show. That's great for women. When in fact, if it was a black man sketch show, women would be like, yes, brother, yes, brother, because we're programmed to do that.
Yeah. I think for me, I always push back and say, you know, I'm inspired by this. I see myself in this.
Great.
Because I think this separating ourselves is why we, I think for a lot of ways, have so much trouble kind of, you know, coming to a common ground to move forward together and be side by side in that movement. And I think that's the reason why calling this a black lady sketch show specifically is powerful, because in terms of the world, when you talk about blackness, black man is really the definition of what that is, because it's what our problems are, what affects us the most. And it's always an afterthought.
How to move y'all forward.
Yeah, because it's like, it's not about that there are black mothers who have to raise these kids. It's about, damn, the black mothers need help because they're raising sons. Who may end up in the system. And I think a lot of people don't ever catch that language, try to figure out why there's always this kind of, you know, pushing to the side and it's missing out of certain things. And it trips me out. It trips me the hell out. And I think that's why I feel like, you know, it's very important for people to, you know, to understand and be well read in certain things, but also take the time out to take a step back and look at themselves on what they do and how they approach life and how they look at life and what they expect from life. Because 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to see and get all the answers that you need by looking at yourself. But to stay on topic about black women, another sketch that I loved, and it may be one of my favorite sketches within the whole entire show.
Okay.
Whew. And it's because shout out to FX yet again because of the inspiration in the bigness of the show Pose on FX.
Oh,
Inspired and because of, ballroom culture and all these things coming to the forefront, it inspired this specific sketch called The Basic Ball, which I thought was hilarious.
It was smart. It was very smart. Very smart.
And it builds. I've never I feel like not so often in shows do you get a chance to really build up and build up. Like you think that was the punchline, you think that was it. Okay, we're gonna just kind of give you a good beat. Okay, set up beat. But it really felt like it just kept building and got funnier and funnier and funnier.
It did.
And it was just so many beautiful things. Just like I literally just went to my girlfriend's family reunion. Her mama was that daddy who was passing out them damn matching T-shirts that I did not want to wear, but I wore. Just being awkward in the body was one of my favorite ones.
That's hilarious.
I'm talking about just being able to make fun and have that observational comedy, but filtering it through this very creative lens. I think it's something that's beautiful. I think it's something that's showing appreciation,
yes, smart.
homage.
It keeps it relevant.
Everything.
It pays homage to that show. It makes you be like, wait, what inspired that show? Oh, this show Pose, and then it's like, oh wow,
so many connections, and I think I just love stuff like that because I just thought with so many layers within this. I hope this gets nominated for whatever it gets nominated for. I hope one of these sketches get nominated for something.
They better.
Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's give it up because they definitely provided something in the middle of the summer that we could all enjoy and all get into.
Which was smart to give it to us during the summer. That was smart.
Yes, there was a void being insecure, not there. You had so many other things that went off for the first time, or just really, it was an interesting summer. It was a very interesting summer.
I honestly think like they did that because Insecure wasn't in that spot. Like Issa Rae is one of the producers for the show, so it was smart. And that is how you put your sister on.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm walk with you to this thing. We're gonna get there together. We're gonna make sure this is right. And I love the attention to detail. I love the way that they sold every single thing within that sketch and within so many other sketches. But tell me, what is a sketch that stood out to you that you go to that's like, this is the one, this is one that I would have loved to been a part of, so on and so forth.
First of all, I would love to be in that show. Plug. My favorite sketch. I loved the gang banging sketch when it was all just trying to be better people. I think they were like talking about putting in job applications who needed help, but they were all like dressed like Bloods or Crips, but they were all in pink. I think that just sent me. Just the simplicity of that scene was really smart, and like the spokesperson Gabrielle Denise's character, she was like standing on a treadmill as a podium.
Yes,
and I think the reason why I love that one so much is because the last moment when she like exiles Quinta's character out, and like Quinta's just literally like gangster walking down the driveway, like real slow. It took me out. That's one of my favorite skits right now. Like that one's funny. Yeah,
I love that one. But I one thing that I remember vividly, and it's something that I learned later on in life that was such a traditional, very historical thing to be done, and that's the act of playing in different roles and stepping into roles outside of what you are. And I remember in elementary school, we had this troupe and this kind of, I guess, traveling acting group come to entertain my elementary school. And they came and did all these, I remember they did like Little Mermaid. They did a few different like things of Disney or things of like just old stories that we would be familiar with just to entertain us. And all of them were women. So they played every role. Yeah, they played every role, no matter if they were a man or not. And I thought, and I remember not ever seeing that as strange. I think only reason I knew it because they all came out at the end and kind of bowed and they were all undone at that point. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I'm 6. So you being able to see that, and then later on being in high school, being in middle school, learning about Shakespeare, learning about these different playwrights of the past, and finding out that is how certain things were done. Everyone played everything, no matter what you were, because you had to become this thing. And I think I love that they were very strategic in when it came to the actors that they chose to play a certain role and play a certain part, and when they were just going to play that role and play that part. And I thought it was just a beautiful thing because they did it within them playing men, them playing queer, and I just think those are the types of things that you want out of a sketch show, because there's this fearlessness, there's no bounds, there's no box.
It shows range, and the story gets to be told, and it shows talent, and it showcases Black women in a different way that we don't typically see all the time, you know?
Yes.
So it's amazing. It's amazing what they're doing. It's groundbreaking.
It's groundbreaking. So this last episode gave us something that I thought was very clever too, featuring someone who has liked a few of my tweets, and I'm so proud to say it. Yvette Nicole Brown. Featured on, I think the name of the sketch was
A Black Lady Courtroom.
Yes, Courtroom Kiki, a Black Lady Courtroom. Yeah. Yes. I thought that was extremely a great way to end the whole, like, put that one into the ending of the show.
Yeah, and I also love that Brisha Well was featured on that, because she is a talent, and I just really want her to get her flowers, because I got to see her do a live one-woman show. She's really talented, and I can't wait to see what's next for her.
I love how loud she is. Like I
love her.
I am a true praise and worshiper of women, and I've always been that way. And I've always had to I've grown in certain appreciation for the smallest of things. And I didn't know it was such I guess a flattering thing until I started just tweeting stuff out. like speaking towards, women who have a certain tone of voice and all these different things, because I think those things are like what make you unique and what make you beautiful. So I love somebody who's loud. I love somebody who has a distinctive voice, someone who has a raspy voice like Ava DuVernay. Juwanza actually was a PA on the set. I think it was A Wrinkle in Time. And he was and I was so jealous because he was just telling me all about. I'm like, bro,
oh, that's amazing.
I know, I admire it. I admire it in so many ways, but I know, just being, I would just be like, Ava DuVernay is talking to me right now.
Yeah,
like to me, and I would be so captured by that moment. And I think what's beautiful about that specific sketch to me is just they captured so much of what the show is.
Yeah, in that one sketch.
Just in that one sketch, and just this don't ever happen. This is historical. And then you got Issa come on, y'all. What
y'all doing? Why y'all singing?
My case, I don't think they would even appreciate you doing this. What's going on? And
right.
It's a beautiful thing. I think it's so necessary. I thought it was just wonderful. But also the through line throughout the show was the end of the world.
Yeah,
it's the end of the world, and it's treated as kind of like the transitional part of the show, just to something to kind of go in between. And I think the cool, interesting part about that, it felt very reminiscent of what I feel like you've seen in the last season of Key and Peele. Because there was there was this kind of ongoing storyline that kind of followed you throughout the last seasons. They were literally just driving in this car to nowhere, and they literally were just talking and somewhat introducing almost every sketch that then followed. And,
oh wow, okay.
In this, I thought it was interesting because it wasn't always that. It was genuinely a story on its own.
Yeah, and it talks and it showcases a lot of Black women conversations that we have in closed doors, which is great and smart, and also another way to push the agenda of what the show stands for and what they're trying to do. And it is. I can't wait to see what I'm just really interested in see okay, where is this taking us?
Yeah, and I think it's keen and it's very essential to make a point of black women are going to certainly survive, the apocalypse.
Right. We're going to be the one. Yep.
We will be the ones to have to survive and have to figure
Yep.
and be and almost to me, I think I placed and I probably projected the point of they're probably going to also have the responsibility to figure out what needs to happen next. How the world is going to get fixed now. Because it's like, well, I mean, you guys are always, and then in that moment is when they get their praises. In that moment, that's when acknowledgement happens. And I don't know if they're going to write it this way. And if they do, mark my words, I called it. You heard it here first.
You called it.
But that's what I believe is going to happen. Like people, they're going to eventually leave the house and find people. And these people are going to expect them to be somewhat of their saviors in a way. And these people are going to be come from various swaths of life. And I think, it's going to really, truly be this kind of like, but you're like the most educated, demographic in the world right now. You guys have been through so much. Black women are the strongest, blah, 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 and this and that. What's up with that magic that you got? Stuff like that is, I think, kind of where I see them going. And I think it would be a very telling thing, but I think I like the way that they play on those real life kind of, interesting and hard topics to talk about. Another sketch that they had on this last episode was when you're patronizing a black business.
Oh my God, that thing was hilarious.
It was hilarious. And I don't know if you noticed throughout the season, they was giving you that good drips and drops of dark comedy. That was
which I love too.
Which I love it as well because I think that's the genius that I feel like people have had to realize when it came to somebody like Jordan Peele, who was like, okay, so there's a person who is funny, but he understands suspensefulness. He understands, horror. He understands the awkwardness and the intensity of a specific situation. And I think they certainly had the flavor and the taste for that type of thrilling. But there's still this kind of odd creation of making you want to laugh in this moment of like, what the hell is going on? Like and I think giving you the range, they're presenting a range of laughter, a range of emotion. And I think that's all what comedy is as well. Because sometimes the comedy isn't always a response of just a cackle outside, but like a real true, like, oh shit, like what's about to happen? Like, damn, they really got me scared for a minute. I think in that it gave you those elements, and I thought that was a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I want to know, what do you think about that sketch specifically in terms of what it was telling us? Like, I guess in a real life standpoint, because I think it was a lot of things being said in that, and just how the whole thing came about that a lot of us talk about in real life.
Well, yeah, when you're trying to support black businesses, it can be hell.
Yes.
Literally. It can. And, we know each other. We know black people. We be on CP time. We be doing, we know each other. And and when you really try to like keep a jolly attitude about like, nope, it's okay. These are our people. We're gonna put it to the black dollar.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes the reason why that idea of like support black businesses has not taken off is because of sometimes, some black businesses aren't run in the best way. It doesn't invite us to come back and support, our people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought it was funny. I could not have foreshadowed the whole purgatory idea. I think that was great to like kind of like merge both into one, but also kind of like say something about it, like, because it'd be hell sometimes. So yeah, I think it was smart. It was smart. And it was funny because they were really just trying to like stay optimistic the whole time until it just became a little too much. Like, you got to go to the drink lady. The drink lady don't got iced tea, but they got warm tea with ice and hot tea without, and it's sweet or unsweetened. And like, it was hilarious. It was hilarious
because there is always this very abnormal custom or procedure at some black-owned restaurants that you'd be like, huh? Like, so y'all got... So hold on. You say we got to go do what? Or we got to write it down? Or
we got to write it down?
We got to, go tell the person at the front and then come back and then you going to bring us our food instead of just telling you? Or like just something that I guess in retrospect probably makes their life easier, but makes us like, this is odd.
It's like
okay.
The reason why I came to eat out was because I didn't want to do all this work.
I didn't want to do nothing. I don't want to have
I didn't
to
want to do. I wanted to sit and just.
That's it. I don't
and
want
be
to have to get
served.
up. I don't want to have to come
I
and
don't want to have
find
to
you.
get up.
I don't
Right.
want to have to do nothing. I want to sit down and eat your food and give you a great Yelp review and tell my mama to come.
And
You
call
know
it
what
a
I'm saying?
day. And
That's
call
it.
it a day.
Because that's what I end up doing when I go other places. I'm like, we didn't even know this was going to be this good. This is good. Like, we need to come
Right.
back. You know? But I do think there is something to be said about that. Me and my girl Lily battle about that conversation all the time. She was like, I just don't know sometimes like what it is. If it's like, if black people just like it, she sees it as like a chicken or the egg type of situation. Like, is it already the expectation that, you know, things are going to be bad? Is there is it this fact that things are bad and we don't want to, you know, always say that or put that on them because we always want to cut some slack. And I think for me, it's certainly a person to person, a situation to situation type of thing, because I do think there are a lack of resources with some of these instances. And for some things, honestly, I guess it's my southern ways. I don't mind them being very kind of like lowbrow and very simple and low maintenance of a certain place, because it's not a fancy thing to do, and that's what makes it a very, you know, have so much culture in it. It's like,
right,
you go get you some, you know, go to the chicken spot, and they familiar. They talking to you. They may be talking to you aggressively because they like, baby, what do you want? You don't know what you want. We got 10 things. Pick, you know, like, and I think depending on what it is, it's kind of like, okay, I can level with you because this is like I'm about to pay $5 for, you know, for some chicken. All right, I ain't gonna treat you like I'm at the Roost Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, hold on, what's going on? You guys didn't give me any, you know, plasticware, you know, and all that.
Right,
you know, it's like,
right,
okay,
right.
I'm a level with you because
All
your
facts,
food is actually good, and when it comes to the other, because there are examples within every other type of food that isn't a black owned business that we just deal with. Go to a very rustic type of restaurant that's very, you know, weird and odd in the way that you have to go about things, but we just give it a chance. We give it a shot. You go get you some Chinese food and they all types of whatever to you sometimes, and you're trying to figure out why you just can't get some extra sauce. And it's like, look, you gave me 2 packs of soy sauce. Like, I don't think that's what, like, I got all this food, just 2 packs? What's going on? I think, you know, you see a lot of these things in small businesses all the time, but I think we take it personal when it comes to our own. And I think instead of us always, I guess, in my mind, and I guess a part of my own personal mission, instead of me always kind of condemning them and coming at them, I try to my best to like sit myself back and be like, I wonder if I could go talk to somebody
if I was,
see if
or
I
if
could,
that
like,
was me, what could I have really handled it better? You know?
Cause it's like I ain't never ran a restaurant before, and this really might be somebody's first time ever trying to do this shit.
Do it as well.
And then on top of that, it might be someone who created this, left it to someone, and they don't even know this is what goes on a day to day. You got to come on Thursday when, you know, when Letitia, who the owner, come through, and this place is nice and great. You get the best service. That's why the Yelp reviews so tossed up. You get some 5s, you get some 2s in there because they was there when Letitia was there, you know, and it just is what it is. But I do love that they gave us that, and I truly hope that with the success of this first season, that they get a cool, great, you know, maybe 13, maybe, you know, however many episodes, you know what I'm saying, where they can really get their shit off and really talk about even more things. Because I think they definitely, like I said, I really felt like, I don't think it was a play safe. I think they kept it very real. They gave you those quick. They know these things are gonna hit. They gave you that low hanging fruit for a lot of for black women.
Low-hanging fruit.
But I think they're gonna definitely turn the dial just by the way that they are leaning into and very aware of what the hell is happening and what can be done and what bounds they have really stretched their bounds out to really none. So I think it's a beautiful show, and I just think it's something that is necessary and needed right now, and I just want to see it. I just really want to see it. But before I let you go, I want you to tell me about a sketch. I'm gonna give you an idea, and You give me an idea and I give you
Oh,
one.
I already got one. I'm finna write it. So I already got one.
Okay, let me know and I'm gonna think of mine.
Okay, cool. Mine is gonna be called Nigga Buster.
Nigga Buster. Oh Lord.
Nigga Buster. It's it's basically the black lady version of Ghostbuster,
Oh.
where we bust fuck niggas.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So basically, it's three women. They are the main nigga busters of Nigga Busters Enterprises, and it's a call center. So basically, when a woman's going through something with said brother, they will call in. They will ask for a certain department. It could be department niggas with girlfriends. It could be niggas with no jobs. It could be like niggas who cheat. And so you get phoned into that department, and then depending on the severity of your case, it can be sent up to the nigga busters to handle because it's so huge. And so basically the niggas busters, what they do is they go to the black woman who's in distress, and they do like this whole kind of like waiting to exhale, like sisterhood bonding thing to build them back up, to let them know like you're loved, girl, like don't call him. And then they go out to bust that nigga. Okay, and give him some things that he's missing, throw him some respect, like some like blast him with water, like respect water, or take him to church, throw some holy oil on him, stuff like that, which I think is hilarious.
I think that's already too good, and it definitely beats the one I think out. The one that I came up with, because thinking about a all black female cast of just beautiful black women who come from all different walks of life, immediately in my mind for the sketch that they should do, because we have yet to see this happen in real life again, and that is to spoof the Legends luncheon that Oprah did in 2000?
Oh wow, yeah, that's a good one.
I can't remember. It was in the early 2000s.
Are you talking about the one where Patti LaBelle started singing?
All of that. So they're gonna do a modern day Legends. They're gonna do a modern day Legends lunch.
That's hilarious.
You see what I'm saying? And what's going to happen is that in my mind I see this as a very kind of long-winded sketch that's essentially just leading up to a very, very upset as hell Oprah. Because there's this infighting and this feuding happening because people, they remember the last one. And they was like, look, we played it cute. And look, we just passed this mic around. We didn't even know this was going to happen. Oprah didn't tell us it was going to happen, but I'm ready now. And I'm not worried about it. I heard, he was like, is Beyonce going to be here? She is, she ain't? Okay, cool. We going to keep it moving.
That's funny.
So in my mind, I see them kind of, you jumping around, having different people play, very like they're in what they're in, playing what they're playing, playing whoever they're playing these significant people, and it's very, very apparent by a very signature hairstyle, very signature dress, and they keep jumping around from person to person, table to table. You maybe have like a sprinkle of kind of men who are there, kind of just like eating. You know what they're doing? They're eating that that gift with Safari. It's eating that lettuce. Oh yeah. You just got men on there just like eating lettuce, just hearing this shit happening, playing those kind of complimentary roles.
Robin Thede need to hit us up. We got sketches.
We got sketches ideas.
Come and then get us.
The last beat, the very last beat is a mad Oprah and her shutting things down and everything getting quiet. And then her turning around telling the band to play something. And then they just pan up to the sky and all you see is somebody playing Aretha, playing some of those, falling.
Oh,
and they just
like,
they sound flat to me, but beautiful gowns. And keep it moving,
that's
clap, 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 clap.
Oh, that's funny.
And that's what I see would be a very dope thing that them to do. Because I just feel like, how often do you, because SNL can't do that. They don't have enough black women to even try to play off something like that. And I think that's something that would be, every time it goes on the timeline, people forever are sharing it because it was such a damn moment. I literally listened to a podcast. I think it was The Nod. Yeah, I think it was the podcast called The Nod, where they literally did a whole podcast talking about that specific moment, talking about that specific Oprah special, because there's never been anything that well put together and legendary where you have all these significant individuals who, a lot of them aren't even with us today, in the same place, literally just praising women and celebrating women of all throughout the generations, from all who specialize in all these different things. Like Michelle was there before she was Michelle Obama, like the first lady. You have all these different people who are there, who are the most significant individuals of that year and prior to, from Alicia Keys to Mariah Carey. And the fact that they had these very impromptu moments of them singing to each other and singing out in this very praising way, I think it plays on a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying my best. I've been in the podcasting for a long time, but it is time for me to pull out my screenwriter's pen. And,
yes, right.
Yeah, I do. I gotta get back on my shit. But Juwan's always pushed. He's my Jiminy Cricket when it comes to screenwriting. He was like, "Hey, bro, you need to write that down. Oh, that's it." He was like, "Oh, you gonna use that? That's it." But no. Before I let you go, you have to tell everyone how they can follow you, how they can support you, how they can pay a Black woman named Bria Henderson in some way, shape, or form. I just need to let them know that.
You can follow me on Instagram at Bria Simone, and that's BriaSamone, Bria Simone. And I'm also on Twitter at actress ACTRESS, 2 Society, SOCIETY.
I love it. I love it. I miss you, Bria. And
I miss you too, Rodney.
Yes. You
gotta let me know when you come to the West Coast.
I definitely will. And I definitely will make sure I, keep supporting you, letting you know when you're doing beautiful and great things. Because I feel like we have to let each other know, especially because there's so much when it comes to diminishing progress. You may not be exactly at the end goal, at the top of the hill, but the fact that you on the way up is way better than where you were. You see what I'm saying? I feel like we have to remind each other that we're past where we started, and we're in the middle of the race, and we can't get discouraged on us not being there when we felt like we should be, or feeling like certain things are happening too slow, or whatever it may be. The fact that you're on this show, you're fresh, you were fresh out of school, and you're in LA, you're in the mix, you're in the scene, and you're doing things in your way. I think it's a beautiful thing. You're doing all the things right, and you're meant to be there. And I love you so much. And I certainly will be one of your biggest supporters and sing all your praises for sure. Y'all know I know her, right? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and go subscribe. Make sure y'all go listen to that. You know what I'm saying?
Sending love back to you.
Yes. If you don't know, now you know. You can listen to the Soulfully Conscious podcast for humans, simply being humans. That's Simply King. Everywhere podcasts are available, from Apple Podcasts to Google Play to Spotify. Make sure you leave a review for a brother, and keep on sharing it on. I appreciate everybody who checked out last week's episode with Travis Squire, a filmmaker, photographer, who we nerded out the whole episode talking about a whole bunch of Marvel shit. Right. But make sure you listen to all previous archived episodes, because those shits are good. Most of those shows are evergreen and can be listened to at any point in time, because that's the type of content I'm trying to give y'all. Not just things you got to listen to in the moment, but things you can go back to. But love y'all. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. I'm Rodney Perry, also known as King, and this is Simply King. Peace.